There have been varying levels of tariffs already in place. And one thing that we were being told was going to happen were huge shortages. I remember a period of time when the Flexport CEO was everywhere saying that if you look in the shipping data, everything was about to break down. I think we were expecting to see very sharp price increases on Amazon, at Walmart. So far, things have seemed somewhat muted compared to some of the more alarming predictions. Why?
So you haven't seen price increases that are as high as our models predict at this moment. And in fact, to be clear, you have seen price increases. So durable goods inflation over the last 6 months was the highest that it has been over any 6-month period since the 1980s. So outside of the pandemic. So you are starting to see price increases. But importantly, knowing that tariffs were a tool that the president was likely to lean on, what you had importers and retailers do in the months leading up to Liberation Day, and in the months since, frankly, as these tariffs were paused before taking into effect, is bring in a lot of inventory. Because the idea is if we can try to front run the tariffs, we can bring in stuff at the pre-tariff rate, and then we won't have to pass on price increases to consumers because we wouldn't have had to pay that tariff when we imported. Eventually, and you're starting to see the Walmarts of the world and the Procter & Gamble's kind of telegraph this explicitly, your inventories are going to dry up. There is just not enough space in the margins of those importers and retailers to eat the cost of these tariffs without passing them down to consumers. Whether they're going to pass down 100% of the tariff or 70% of the tariff or 50% of the tariff, economists in different sectors are going to react differently, and economists have a lot of debates about those particular elasticities. But the idea that you aren't going to see price increases from this set of policies, it just kind of doesn't work with respect to the way the economy is structured unless these tariffs are ultimately rolled back in meaningful ways.